there's a couple of different things that are coming on next. We've got existing portfolio companies that have previously been through the Sydney Angels process. They are follow-on investments. So there's a lot of really good companies in there that have actually started making initial traction. We've got some AI companies in the portfolio. We've got some biotech companies in the portfolio. Some of those in the process of raising or about to be raising. So I'd expect that we're going to see some of those ones in the Sidecar Fund. The other thing we've got is the new investments that the members are actually currently doing due diligence on. So there's about 4 or 5 of those that are in process. Again, there's some biotech companies. We've got an AI company in there. We've got some subscription-based platform companies. I'm really actually super excited by the ones that are actually there. So to get into the process, they actually do an application process to start off with. That application, we take those 6 times through the year. They compete against sort of 30 to 50 other companies, and we have a screening process that screens down to what we think are initially the best 6 companies out of that batch. Those 6 companies then do a pitching to what we call a deal screening meeting. They pitch to a group of about 12 to 15 combination of committee and investors who then rank those companies. It's quite brutal from 1 to 6. So it's almost like a war game kind of outcome where the top 3 of those then get the reward of pitching through to the full members meeting. Those top 3 then pitch to the full members meeting. Syndicates form around those. So members express an interest in that. They then go and do due diligence. That due diligence process looks at pretty much all aspects of the companies. It taps into the expertise of the various different members in there. So you get the benefit of multiple minds doing that due diligence. Yeah, so the full member base is about 70 to 80 at the moment, and it ebbs and flows. It sort of will go up to about 100 in a growth phase. But the syndicates generally sort of about 10 to 15 people in a syndicate, and you'll find like 7 to 8 of them relatively hands-on and deeply active in doing due diligence. And they cover all aspects. So we've got people who look at IP, we've got people who've got legal expertise, you've got people who have got tech expertise, sales and marketing. So yes, you get the benefit of all those different minds who've got different expertise in different areas. Yeah, so the minimum investment into the Sidecar Fund's $25,000. And the best thing about it is you don't even have to pay it all up front. So at $25,000, you only got to pay 20% up front with that first call. Now we're about to do the second tranche,
yes.
Which means that $20,000, 20% of the $25,000 or $5,000 will go. The next tranche will be in about 9 months' time from today. And then thereafter, it'll be every 12 to 15 months until you've paid your full investment commitment. So it's a good way to spread your investment out, get a highly diversified portfolio, and just, you don't have to commit a massive amount of money. Well, it is, because if you think about it, you're getting a group of people who are highly aligned because they've put their money where their mouth is, and they've got like a strong interest in making that investment successful. And the Sidecar Fund investors get to be the sidecar and go passively alongside those investors. So it's a great way for people to get exposure to that asset class without actually having to do all the work of the due diligence and the post-investment management. So one of the key benefits for people who are going to come into the Sidecar Fund now is they still effectively get access to the iiShield investment. If the iiShield investment does what we think it might be able to do, there's not going to be any other way to get into that one, because any future rounds of capital will either be taken up by existing investors or will be taken up by much larger funds. There won't be another opportunity. So you get in there, you're going to get a tax-free return out of it because it's a ESVCLP. So there's lots of benefits for people to come into the Sidecar Fund now. So the due diligence is focused on a couple of key areas. At the early stages, the team is actually really important. So understanding who the team is, why they're doing it, what their expertise is. So there was quite a bit of time spent around the team. There's also, because it's a medical device, there's a quite regulated pathway. So you want to understand that the team knows what they need to do to get that device to market and get all the approvals that are actually necessary. So there's quite a bit of work around that FDA process and understanding what the clinical trial process was to go through and do that. And then there's also things like what's the unit economics of it like? Is this thing, it's a great idea, but is it actually going to make money? How do you think about pricing of the product? What's the distribution strategy going to be? So there's all these different components. How are you going to manufacture it? So we've got people who've got expertise in manufacturing. So those got separately looked at. So they're the kind of key areas. And it sort of actually shows what was quite a significant opportunity there, leveraging the skills and expertise of the members. There's actually quite a bit of also spent around the IP and the patent side of things, because that's going to be a critical component to it. And we have some of our members are absolute top-class IP experts around spinning our technologies out of universities, advising some of the largest companies in the world on their IP strategies. And so the Sidecar Fund investors, get all that as part of the co-investment.